Boom. There we go. What's up, man? We back with another edition of Access Granted. If you don't know why I call it Access Granted, it's because I feel like knowledge gives you access to the world. And this is a series where every Saturday, man, throughout the week, I learn things, come across little sayings, maybe it might be a quote, a little framework, anything I might find interesting, anything I might just feel like provide somebody value. Um, I come share it with y'all, man, because you never know what little piece of information could just take you to that next level. Or you never know when you could have that was an interesting moment. That's all I'm really going for here. So yeah, let's get into it. So starting off today, um, okay, so I learned something. I learned what brackish water is, like BRACKISH, brackish water. So brackish water is water that occurs naturally somewhere in the environment, and it has more salt than fresh water, but it's less salty than what's considered salt water or like seawater or whatever. Um, yeah, it's just a random little fact, a little thing. Do with that information what you will. Um, Next, so I wrote down to invest in yourself is to believe in yourself. And what brought me to that was the fact that so I'm making these YouTube videos, and I want to start making the content better. And one of the things I needed to do was um, I need to start clipping my videos up, like the videos like this, the access granted, and I need to start making little shorts and reels out of so I can push those out into the algorithm and things like that. And to do that, and I just want to start adding things to it, more visual effects. And to do that, I need some type of editing software, and it's gonna cost me money, obviously, to get it. And I didn't hesitate to start looking into it to see which one I wanted to get. But I said all that to say, whenever you're doing something, if you don't feel like it's gonna work out, or it's not, you don't feel like it's gonna be up to whatever your standards are, or whatever your expectations are for that thing. If you don't feel like you want to invest that time or that money, or the hard work in general, whatever it may be, whatever type of commitment it's gonna take from you, whether that be monetary or not. If you don't want to take that commitment to like put into whatever you're doing, then you really just don't believe in yourself because you probably feel like you're wasting your resources. And I don't feel like this is a waste, mainly because this is just a hobby. But I just generally enjoy what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing, and I feel like it's gonna go somewhere. So I don't have a problem in investing that money and the time I put into my videos, or increasing the time I put into my videos for that matter. But yeah, so that's why I said to invest in yourself is to believe in yourself, because that means you're thinking highly of whatever you're doing, whatever you participate in. Next we got carry the momentum of whatever you're doing. So, and this is also on the same topic of like my YouTube, but I've ran into this like in other areas of my life as well. So it might be going to the gym, uh, it might be reading every day. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. But if you got momentum in something, keep it going. You done did it for 2 days in a row, do it for three. You done did it for 3 days in a row, do it for five. You did it for 10. Try to get that 11th day, because once you get that momentum, it's hard for you to stop. But and counter to that, whenever you stop, it's gonna be hard for you to start back as well. And the longer you go before starting back, the harder it is gonna be to start back doing whatever you was doing. So just carry the momentum in whatever you're doing. Just try to keep it going. Um. Okay, so this was something I read I read it in this book, right? In The Social Contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So he mentioned something about he was talking about how like different governments operate differently based on like the land that they're on. Like they just have different rules and like the way they do things. And he said that women in the mountains are more fertile than women in like the plains or whatever on like flat land. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I googled it, and I went on Google. They said women in the mountains are actually less fertile. And you gotta realize this. I realized this book was written so long ago, so they probably didn't, have access to a lot of the science we have now. But Google said women in the mountains are actually less fertile because of the, lower oxygen levels and stuff like that. So I'm gonna believe Google, but my point being, I just thought it was interesting how like things like where you're located can affect the fertility rate of, saying a population based on like stuff like that. I just thought that was like a cool, interesting thing. Hey, okay. So I wrote down. So you know how everybody's talking about artificial intelligence and taking jobs and this, that, and the third. And I'm not worried about that. Well, I'm not worried about my well being because I like to trade options. So I like to trade stock options. And I'm building up my account right now, and I'm getting to the point where I want to be able to live off of it. Not necessarily saying I'm gonna quit my job, but I want to be able to, make that income and, be able to provide for myself if need be. But so the thing I wrote was AI might be able to take your job, but it can't take money out your trade. Like it can't really affect the stock market, and that's why the stock market is such a beautiful thing because it's just you in the market. You make all your own decisions. You know what I'm saying? You decide if you want to make money, when you don't want to make money, you paying attention. It's all up to you. And the artificial intelligence can't do shit about that. So yeah, man. That's why I love the market. Can't nobody say nothing about you, your trades, your money, your stocks. Nobody can say anything to you about anything because it's all on you. You just pressing your own little buttons on the screen. So, man, learn you a skill, man, to where nobody can't tell you nothing, bro. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. Learn you something that can make you sustain yourself in whatever regard that may be. Like I cut my own hair, so now I don't have to worry about going to the barbershop. All my partners want to go out one day, and I ain't got a haircut. I can go in the bathroom real quick. You know what I'm saying? Slice myself up. You know, if you good with your hands, you might be able to fix stuff around your house, and now you don't got to call a mechanic. You don't got to call a carpenter or something like that. Learn you a skill that's gonna provide you some value in your life, and that's really the crux of it, of that AI. But the thing about it really is to learn something or acquire something in your life that allows you to fend for yourself. You might be able to. You might be a good gardener. You can plant your own food. You know what I'm saying? Then you don't got to worry about all the antibiotics and bullshit they put in the food that's in the stove. You know what I'm saying? All the shit they spraying on food, all kind of stuff. All the GMO. You feel me? So, and bro, I learned this a while ago, but I don't know if everybody know this. But y'all know broccoli is man-made. Like broccoli don't just grow in the wild by itself. Like they like people made broccoli. So that's it. What's next? Oh, okay. So one thing also learned from this book, if y'all know like Sparta, Sparta, like the civilization or whatever, that's what the movie 300 is about. I think 300 is about Sparta. But one thing I learned about Sparta is that they had not three. They operated with two kings. And that's just like an interesting fact. That's something I didn't know. Sparta operated with two kings. I did not know that. Next, I learned what aristocracy is. So like, you have democracy, you have a monarchy, and then you have aristocracy. And I always heard the term, but I never actually. Well, I'm not gonna say I always heard it, but I knew it was a thing. But I never like really understood what it was until I read this. So aristocracy is when it's kind of like democracy, but not really. It's like aristocracy is when the land or like the space or whatever, the state is governed by a small subset of people. But it's not like a democratic government. I gotta let me look it up because I'm not explaining it the right way. Aristocracy. So, it's like a form of rule by a small group of elite people. It says aristocracy is a rule by traditional elite held to be made up of the best people and is usually hereditary. So it's when you're ruled by a small group of people, but it's not really a way to get into that group of people. That's basically what it is. So like if my family or like my group of friends rule this certain area, we just rule like we're just the rulers. Like it ain't no voting somebody in like democracy. It just we decide, we keep it all in the family type shit. So I learned what that was. Journotes, journotes. It's a term, and I didn't write down the definition, so I got to look it up again. Man. A journot. Journot is a German masculine name that is derived from the Old High German words Ger and Knoten, Knoton. It's a rare name, but it's still used in German-speaking countries today. So, yeah, just another little thing I learned. Also from this book. Okay, so I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I learned about a very interesting. It wasn't interesting to me, but like a very niche job you can have. So she was telling me how she used to work at she was telling me when she was in college, she had the opportunity to be to get an internship at Goldman Sachs, but she was an electrical engineering major. So I was, Goldman Sachs is a bank, it's an investment bank. So I was like, naturally I was like, well, what the hell you would have been doing at Goldman Sachs as an electrical engineer? And she was telling me that like the internship was like for a job to where like, so electrical companies, which I found out, they actually trade electricity with each other. So like, let's say it's more common in certain states. So like in states where there's more regulation, it's not as common, but in states where there's less regulation, it is. So like in Florida or like Texas, it'll be more common. But basically what they do is, if this company isn't producing enough electricity, they'll say, company A will be like, hey, they'll hit up company B and be like, hey, we need some electricity. Well, then company B will be like, well, we can give you this many kilowatts for this much money and this, that, and the third. So the job, and it's like I guess, I don't know the exact name of it, but it's like, I would call it like an electrical trading analyst. So what they'll do is they'll analyze the trades and they'll do all the math behind it, because there'll be like losses and stuff like as you transfer the electricity. It's like a lot of stuff that goes into it, but they analyze those trades and stuff and like basically help them trade electricity, and they do the numbers behind all that. So I just thought that was like a real interesting, niche little job. Something I learned about. Next, so I was talking to that same coworker. I was talking to that same coworker, and we were talking about I forgot how we got on the subject, but we were talking about kids or whatever. And when you have kids, you know how people have kids nowadays, and they make these social media pages for them, and they record them all the time. They take pictures of them. Like, you'll be able to watch this kid grow up, and I was saying, because I was saying something like, I don't think I'll post a whole lot of pictures and videos of my kid when I have kids, because I want to give them that option of having that social media presence or whatever. And then I had the thought, I was like, well, you can make the page private or whatever. You can control who can see, who has access to these pictures. And we're just talking about an Instagram page for all intents and purposes. And so then it was like, yeah. And then we were talking about how when that child grows up and you show them this Instagram page, and like they're connected to all of these people that they really don't know for real. And we were saying, like, it's kind of like you're handing over a network of people to your child that really know them, because let's say you're in like a position of power, or like you're famous, or like you just know a lot of people. You don't even have to be famous. But let's say you just know a lot of people, like you have connections and things. You're passing that network on to your kid. And obviously them being your kid, I would assume they would have, that connection to everybody you're connected to in general. But just to have it in that medium, she was saying that, we were saying that's like a form of passing on like generational wealth, like generational networking. Like, I can pass on this Instagram page to you that has basically your life on it. and you have access to all of these people that I know that I've allowed access to you. Like, say if I was just friends with I don't know, fucking Barack Obama or something, and he followed my kid. Like, my kid now has a direct contact plug to Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? Or like this party promoter, this club promoter. So when they get of age, they go to college. Oh, now they know a promoter. Like, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? We just thought that was an interesting concept to be like the medium of which you're passing that on. Like I said, obviously, them being your kid, they will probably have access to those people anyway. But to just have it on the phone and like, you know. There was I saw a quote, pretty simple, and all the quote said was, "Only those who take risks are truly free." Because if you don't take risks, and you know you're just stuck in whatever situation you may be in, and you don't take that risk to get out, you're not really free. You might feel like you're free because you can walk around and do whatever the hell you want to do. In essence, like, or if I wanted to get up and go to the store right now, like, I could. But it's like more on a more abstract, in a more abstract sense. You know what I'm saying? Because let's back to the example, like having a job. Like, if you just wanted to do certain things that were against those rules and guidelines, you're not really free. So being free would be taking the risk to learn something to get away from it. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Next. So I got this from Wealth Squad Chris Johnson. I follow him on Twitter. I like a lot of his videos. I like a lot of his thoughts and, you know, his little think pieces and the information he gives out. I like, bro. Wealth Squad Chris. And he said, money is a proxy for your time and energy. So to blow your money is to disrespect your time. But not to enjoy your money is also a way of disrespecting your time. And I feel like that was true. That was a real statement. Because if you don't understand what a proxy is, like, a proxy is just like a gateway to something, or like a representation of something. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or like a filter. It could be like a filter or something. So like, when he says money is a proxy for your time and energy, it's like money is a direct representation of where you spend your time and how you spend your energy. If you have a lot of money, then you probably don't spend your time doing anything, or your time or energy doing anything too productive. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to say fortunately or unfortunately, but it happens to be that we live in a society, in a world where, like, I'm not going to say money is everything, but you need money for everything. Like, let's just keep it real. So it would be advantageous of you to spend your time and your money, spend your time and your energy to get some money, because the money will allow you to do certain things in life, or get you certain places. Maybe not directly, but let's say you want to go to this mentorship. This mentorship costs $100,000 a year, and through that mentorship, you get around this group of people who have this certain mindset. And then you meet a person who introduces you to this particular piece of knowledge, and so like, yeah, the money didn't directly get you that, but it acted as a product. Like, it gave you access to it. You know what I'm saying? And to not enjoy your money is also disrespectful of your time, because you did what you needed to do to get the money. So like, why not enjoy the fruits of your labor? Like, you basically saying you just did it for nothing if you just stacking the money and don't do nothing with it. And that's like, I'll never be one of those people to be like, oh, don't spend your money. I like when people like, yeah, live like this. Granted, you do need to live below your means sometimes if you're in a certain position. But after a while, bro, you just like, you need to enjoy your life as it goes on. You don't want to hit 50 and be like, oh yeah, I got $500 trillion million in the bank, but I ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to be like that, because then it's like, well, what you got the money for? You know what I'm saying? So, tight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so okay, all right. Next, so if y'all don't know who Alex Hermosi is, he's a business owner, entrepreneur guy. He teaches a lot of sales and like building a brand and marketing, like that that's his thing, right? And he said something in one of his videos that was cold blooded, bro. He said he doesn't stand on stages that he doesn't own, and he does that because for one, I just think it's cool as hell to even be in a position where you can just say something like that. Like, yeah, I don't go places I don't own. Like, I don't speak at places I like that's not centered around me. Like, I don't got no control, right? But he said that because he's really into branding and branding himself, and he's felt like he's built up his brand very well, which I also believe he has done. And he said he doesn't speak on stages he doesn't own or speak around other people because people will begin to associate him with those people that he's on the stage with. And whatever those people stand for might be adverse to his brand. And he feels like he's taking the time to build his brand so much and so well that he doesn't want to, I'm not going to say jeopardize because that's not his words, but he just doesn't want to be associated with other people, you know? And I just feel like that was some cold-blooded shit, bro. Like, to be in a position, like, to build yourself up, to be able to say something like that, I just felt like that was fire. I had a little accomplishment this week. I bought my first couple $100 of Bitcoin. It was at like 67,000 something. I did it at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which I felt like was cool because, you know, the stock market always closed. The stock market closed at that time, but the blockchain 24/7. So, yeah. But I think I'm going to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin over the near-term future until my trades take off to where I can really plan and like dump large sums of money into it. But as of right now, I'm just going to dollar cost average. But I bought my first little bit of Bitcoin. And I got to get I want to get one of them little nano ledger like hard wallets. And I think I'm going to do like a 70-30 split, like 70%. Like once I hit a certain amount. Like let's say I had $10,000 in Bitcoin. I put 7,000 in the nano, the Ledger Nano, and keep 3,000 on like Robinhood or something, like, to be able to actively trade it. But yeah, man, I bought my first little bit of Bitcoin. So I'm a crypto guru now, baby. Okay. So I was reading the Bible, right? And I think Moses was speaking to the Israelites, but he was speaking like he was telling something God said. I think that's what it was. But it was a quote. It was Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 42. And bruh said, I will make my arrows drunk with blood. And I feel like that's just a cold-blooded way of saying he gonna kill something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have easily said, you will die or I'll kill you. Like, you know, I'll take your life. But he said, I will make my arrows drunk with blood. And I feel like that's a real little poetic line. You feel me? That's like, I feel like there's a lot of power and like essence in like the way you say things, like the way you deliver something. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was a cool little way to say it. I will make my arrows drunk with blood. That was fire. Okay. So I wanted to talk about the concept of burning the ships. And I've heard this before, but I heard it again recently. And I think it was in the Alex Hermosi video, but I can't remember. But if you don't know what that concept of burning the ships is like leaving yourself no way to return once you make a decision. And I think the story was like this group of people, they was going to fight somebody on this island or whatever. And when they got there, they burned all the ships. They was like, man, this it. Ain't no turning back. You feel me? And that's kind of how you got to see your life and the decisions you make to better yourself. You got to be like, man, this it right here. This what's going on. This what I'm finna make happen. You know, and you got to burn the ships. You got to leave no way back. And I just had this thought as I'm speaking on it now. That's kind of how you got to treat. That's how you got to treat your relationships. A romantic relationship, per se. Because like, man, if you talking to a girl, or if you a girl watching my videos, I think like 20% of my viewers are girls, or like 30%. But if you talking to that new girl or you talking to that new guy, you gotta burn all the other ships, man. You gotta tell all the other folk, peace, like skedaddle. I was about to say the F word, but I'm trying to stop cussing. But yeah, man, you gotta tell them folk like, bye. Like you gotta treat this like this your only option, and you gotta continue to treat it like that all the time. But but yeah, but that just a framework for life. Like man, when you doing something, bro, go all in. Why not? Worst that can happen is it don't work out, but you learn something. Burn the ships, man. Because if you feel like you got a way out, you're not gonna go all in. Oh, I need to tweet that. I'm recording on my phone right now, and I'm using this other phone that don't got Twitter on it. But I'm gonna tweet that. If you don't, I forgot what I said already. Man, whatever. Anyway, next, Vincent Van Gogh. If you don't know who Vincent Van Gogh is, he's like a legendary painter or something. But I learned that he only actually sold 2 paintings. And the thing behind that is, it was the people talking about it. They were having a conversation about it. They were talking about how try to do your best work like every time you hit the scene, bro. You know what I'm saying? You step on that court, shit, play ball like this your last game. Shoot that video like this your last video. You know? Go hard with everything you do. Like put your best effort and best quality into the things that you do. Because like I said, Vincent Van Gogh only sold 2 paintings, but he's one of the most historically world-renowned painters of painting time. You know what I'm saying? So do with that information what you will. I didn't know he only sold 2 paintings though. And just the fact that people talk about him the way they do, I thought he would have sold a lot more. You feel me? So that just goes to show. It's facts. This was something, I think this, I got this out of the book too. It was like a little quote. It says, a little disturbance gives the soul elasticity. And it's like, how can you ever really feel alive if things ain't going right and going wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to experience the ups and downs, the lefts and rights, the extremes of life to make you feel like the vitality, like to make you feel life, like, you know. And I like this. I like the way they said it. He said, I like the way they said it. A little disturbance gives the soul vitality. I mean, elasticity. And I feel like that's so true. That's so true. What's the highs without the lows? What's the ups without the downs? You feel me? So, yeah, man. Next, find your thing. And what I mean by that is, you know, find that thing that really make you feel like you. You know what I'm saying? And people like don't want to stand out, but like it's good to stand out. You feel me? Because that's what's gonna get you your traction or whatever you think it is. Like, and I thought about it when I was walking. I was like, if anybody out here play 2K and you know who Chris Move is, y'all know Chris Move. He do the little splash, like he do that. You feel me? Like that's his thing. And I thought about it. I was like, bro, when he first started doing that, people that know him and watch his videos, they were probably like, man, bro, lame as hell. You know what I'm saying? They probably thought he was corny. But if you think about it, bro, that's his trademark thing now. Like, everybody know the little splash song, bro. If you in the 2K community, everybody know the splash thing, bro. You can't worry about who might think it's this or who might think it's that. Like, bro, you got to find your thing. You got to stick to it. You got to rock with it. You got to go hard with it. You feel me? So, yeah, bro, like, just find your thing. Like, I always say, like, I done found my little thing. Like, I like reading books and stocks, and I like clothes. So, whenever I'm reading a book, or whenever I find a little stock or something, I like to try to put an outfit together to match the stock. It's just fun to me, bro. I feel like that's my little thing. So, hey, man. It is what it is. Ooh. Hey, man. Take every opportunity to prepare. Because you never know when the opportunity is going to come knocking at your front door. You feel me? And I say that because, so like I always say, I trade options or whatever. And I was in a situation where I had trades in, and I had some cash on the side, and I think it was about 1,600, but only 700 of it was available for me to trade because like 900 of it had to clear because I think I had just put it into the account or something like that. And like that Monday was a holiday. It was like some weird stuff. But there was a Taiwan semiconductor play on my watch list, and it was $1,100, and I couldn't get it because I only had $700 of cash. And overnight, I think Taiwan Semi like announced earnings or something. Bro, Taiwan Semiconductor did like 30% that next day. It was up like $30 or $20 or something. So that play literally doubled in price. It went from like 1,100, I think, to its peak was like $2,600. I think it ended the day at like $2,300 or $2,400, something like that. But like, let's just say it was 24. That's like $1,300 overnight. But I missed out on it because I didn't have that $400 ready. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I said it wasn't my fault because of the holiday and everything, but still, it's just a lesson. Like, man, keep preparing because it ain't. I like to go by the saying, "There's no such thing as luck," or not necessarily that there's no such thing as luck, but the definition of luck is when preparation meets opportunity. If you keep preparing, you looking. Like I say, bro, you can't catch a fish. You can't catch a fish if your line ain't in the water. So you gotta keep putting it out there, keep trying, because you only gotta get it right one time. You know what I'm saying? And when that opportunity comes, you're gonna be ready because you've been preparing. So yeah, I had a little experience with that. Okay, I learned something else. So I was walking around my apartment. I like to walk around my apartment complex often to just get my brain going. So I learned that. So I saw a Hummer like pickup truck, and I was like, "What the hell? People still make Hummers?" And I was like, "Well, I wonder who make Hummer." And it was like GM, and I looked it up. It was like GM, but so GM was discontinued in 2010. I didn't know what year, but I knew they were discontinued. But apparently they relaunched in 2022 with the electric vehicle, and that was the truck I seen at my apartment complex. And that's just something I learned. So Hummer got EVs out now. If y'all don't know what a Hummer is, bro, if you just that young and you watching my video, let me show y'all what a Hummer is, man. Or like the older ones. Let me see, Hummer H3. Let's see. This what Hummers used to be, man. It kind of like the Jeep Patriot a little bit. So that's the Hummer, man. That's a Hummer. But yeah, they got a truck now. Out. And let me see. So this is the Hummer EV truck. And I think like the top come off and all. Yeah, that's the Hummer, man. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, Hummer, yeah, still make Hummers. But yeah, I just learned that. And okay, and I actually saw this today, like earlier this morning. And this will be the last thing for the day. For this video. Okay, we 34 minutes in. Alright, cool. So the guy, Wealth Squad Chris, I don't know when he made the video because the video was posted by another account. But he dropped the video. He was talking about how politics work as it relates to money. So he was saying like, imagine the Federal Reserve is like, if you ever see, I've never seen the movie, but he broke it down well. He said like the Book of Eli. So he said in the Book of Eli, people were looking for the Bible. Like the knowledge was like this, like the knowledge in the Bible was like the thing everybody wanted. Like it's like it made you powerful, right? The knowledge does make you powerful. But he said, imagine the Federal Reserve is that, right? Or like controlling the money supply is control of the money supply. That's what it is, right? Is equivalent to the Bible in the Book of Eli. So he said you have these two parties, right? And he said, so one party says something like, okay, We're gonna make education free for everybody, right? So you have these people that say, oh, I want to vote for them because they're gonna make education free. But in order to make education free, you have to print a lot of money from the Federal Reserve to because somebody got to get paid. You can't just say, oh, I'm gonna make something free and then people don't get paid. People still got to get paid for stuff. So you got to print a bunch of money to make that possible, to pay these people off or pay these schools, whatever, whoever got to get paid in that process. You have to subsidize it. It has to be subsidized in some way by the government. And they get that money from the Federal Reserve. So you got one party saying that, but then let's say you have another party saying something like, okay, we're going to stop inflation, right? We're going to not stop inflation. Let's say, he said, we're going to make sure the price of groceries don't go up anymore. The price of groceries is going to be constant. Well, just from the natural law and order of things, like I said, somebody people still have to get paid. Prices increase for a reason. Prices don't just increase for no reason all the time. It's a lot of times there's a reason behind it. So if these farmers and these people along this supply chain, if they can't cover their costs on the back end by selling you the food, that income has to be subsidized some way. So what do? They have to go to the Federal Reserve to print money to subsidize these farmers and these manufacturers or whoever's along that supply chain. They still have to get paid some way. So they both are promising you these things, but these things in essence are still gonna raise the cost of living or make inflation worse because they have to print money to pay off these people there that are part of these supply chains to where they can make promises about the price of other things like school or groceries and stuff like that. So I just thought that was interesting. But that's it, man. This is edition number 6 of Access Granted. Hope y'all enjoy it, man. I hope y'all learned something. Go watch some of the other ones. Tune in to some of my other videos. Like I said, Sundays I'm going through the Bible. Mondays we're doing a book review, and Wednesdays we are breaking down the company every week. So yeah, man, tune into that. Like I said, I hope this provided you some value. I hope you learned something. I hope you found this interesting. And yeah, I'm out.